My name is Marco. I'm a coach here at Point Loma High School. I coach the freshman team, otherwise known as the novice team as well. I'm a D-line coach. I'm a first year. It's a first year for me. I think opportunity presented itself. I think a lot of it had to do with luck. I got called into this by a gentleman by the name of Cheesy, Coach Cheesy as he's called. He is a childhood best friend of my stepdad, and we got to talking over the summer at a festival. With him and his wife and his kid were there, and it's just something he felt in me or saw energy-wise, passion-wise, that he thought that he could use in his coaching staff, and he believed in what he saw at that particular moment. And the conversation that we had, it was a great conversation, and I was also there was a athlete who played here last year who was he knows who he is. He was a big influence on me coming and actually trying it and implementing kind of my style in this, and he was a big influence on me making the decision to come out and coach this year. And before we start this, I just want to thank Coach Price, Coach Cheesy, and Principal Jaffe for allowing me to do this interview with you today and to talk to you about this. I'm very fortunate with our coaching staff and everybody here that they allow me to do this. So thank you. I think it's something that I definitely knew that I wanted to do it this way. When I talk about this way, it's a very unique, more hands-on approach. And I started it in the beginning of camp when we came in, and it was basically allowing the kids to get a sense of feel, fit, and understand like kind of how they're going to be approached, how they're going to be attacked. Why and how it works for me, I think, is my size. I'm very much similar in height and similar in size to them. That it works this way. If I was, a lot heavier, a lot taller, it just wouldn't translate, I don't think. So I was able to kind of implement it and work it into camp and phases of it, and then allow the kids to kind of find out ways in which it would make them better. And I think that's why I was big on doing it this way. I knew deep down I always wanted to do it this way, my way, but I had to kind of earn the trust of coaches, knowing that you're putting the best interests of the kids, being safe about it. Is something definitely I had to prove that, one, it works, and two, you're keeping, most importantly, the kids safe, and also yourself, because it is a situation where I'm not in there with pads or a helmet. It's also what I like about it too is it teaches the kids that I'm doing this without pads, without a helmet, but I'm teaching the kids how to keep their head out of the play. Since I've done this, I've never been hit in the head and don't intend to. So it's something that the kids can also see that, there's ways to do this and work the concepts that I work with pass rush with our kids, that it's very much with the head out of the play. So that was a neat thing that I was able to discover with it. It's also an energy thing. I think for me, there's that energy transfer. I'm very intense and animated with them, and it definitely at the hours in which we get them, they've been in 6 periods. They're tired. Maybe they haven't ate, so it's they're a bit lackadaisical. I think too, what I see 8 weeks in, what I see with my style is that most importantly, it's fun for the kids. I think all my athletes enjoy my style, what I bring to practice, what that level of intensity I bring with practice that we transfer over to games, the progression, how we start Mondays and work into Tuesdays, and kind of like shells Wednesdays, and kind of get ready for the game. It's also progressive. It has a sense to where I gradually throughout the week will ramp it up and have certain levels of intensity to kind of get them ready. But yeah, like I was saying, it's something that is unique. I'm sure it exists. I'm sure somebody else works this kind of method. It's, to me, what I strongly believe is that it is fun, but also it's we're getting work. The kids are getting good. We're competing. There's that level of competition, and it also, what I find neat is eventually the kids adhere to those standards. They see my effort, and maybe see it as, oh well, coach is doing this, and I need to either stay or at that level of intensity, and it's that ability to kind of have a player kind of find himself and his style of gameplay through the way I coach. Like I said, it's extremely hands-on, so I'll work with players, very position-oriented, of course, and actually be able to see, how they're winning, how they can get wins in reps. It's definitely, I feel for me, is something that I can sense on a feel, and it's neat to see that kind of progression and see how athletes have progressed with this method. And that's what I think I've gotten the most out of it, is seeing from from camp to week 8, how a lot of athletes have progressed that way. And it's not just one. I'll work with everybody in this kind of way. You see me in the videos in special teams too. It's definitely unique, but in the same sense, I do it to kind of get their spirits, get their energies. I bring a lot of energy in practice, and I see through the kids, especially with how close it is. I'm in practices this close to the kids, so you can see that energy transfer. Okay, we got to do this, take advantage of the time that we have, which isn't much. We only have them for about 2 hours and 45 minutes. So it's important to take the most advantage of that time that we have to get the most out of the players. And that's what I think I could bring and do, and consistently too. I think one thing is these kids are extremely perceptive. They pick up on everything, and consistency and earning that trust for them was something that I thought that I saw that it's, you have to earn that, and I think that's important to know. They see me here every day, half hour early to the last person that leaves. They definitely pick up on that, and they see that, and then in turn work hard for you. And so that's what I feel is important too. I think the first thing that comes to mind is obviously the kids. We have a great group of 38 kids that all bought in to the same cause. We have this what we call our core values: toughness, passion, teammate. This is something that we have started since the beginning of camp, and this group of kids, and the bonds that they've made. I have a lot of fond memories of football friendships and bonds, and it's been really neat with my ability to remember pretty well about how it was when I came through the program. And I'm very aware of the bonds that these kids are making, and the friendships, and how they play for each other. I enjoy coaching here and seeing that, and it's a very real thing. We talk about a lot of it in a football sense, which is great, but these are students first, and I like instilling accountability, and we talk about a lot of different things, not just football. These are our jobs as coaches is to instill values in these kids, to go out in the world and be great human beings. That's something I really, really enjoy doing and taking the time. You talk to any one of my athletes, all of them, we've had life talks, and how's life going, kiddo? How are we doing? How are classes? What are your grades like? It's it can't just be football. We talk about so much more, and they feel comfortable with me. It's a little bit different with every coach. I like what me and a few other coaches have gone to great lengths. Things like study hall. I've attended every single study hall for this freshman group, and about how important that is. To school studies and getting your work done and getting it turned in on time, and your mindset and your attitude, not just here but outside of school. We talk about, Coach Price talks about it a lot, about community, and how you act and behave, and the image that you hold as a member of the school. Accountability. I go over it with the kids all the time. Hey, know that your actions have consequences. People make mistakes. We're only human, but we talk about that all the time in practice, and it's very important to me. So we're talking about the things I like the most. There's so many things, but instilling values in the kids, even beyond just beyond the football field. It's I want them to excel in life, and be good humans, and caring, passionate, genuinely authentic. Be yourself. You'll see me a lot of times with them in practice. I really want a kid to not be bashful about celebrating a good play. A lot of times you see with a lot of our athletes, they'll make a good play and they don't know what to do. So I'll a lot of times jump in there and celebrate with them, and I'm looking for their personality to come out, to shine, to them to be comfortable in expressing that. And I think that's what's important too, is you have that ability to kind of bring out the best qualities in a lot of these kids, and explain to them too that it's okay. It's okay to kind of express yourself, and there's no one's going to judge you, and and offer that sense of give them that confidence. I think that's it's important. But yeah. Well, quite a bit. Quite a bit, especially in the beginning. I'm a guy that tends to have a hard time finding that balance and moderation. So I remember in the beginning having a hard time with dealing with the ebbs and flows of the season. That thing is, I'm sure any coach goes through. Am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? Am I putting too much pressure on the performance? And this is a very performance-based deal, so the kids, they're very perceptive and kind of feel that, and you can totally see that the emotions that a 14, 15-year-old kid goes through with feeling that he's let you down, or didn't get the job done or stuff. And I'm an emotional sensitive guy, so you see that and you're like, that was tough. And I feel I got better with that as the season went, with handling that. And I feel there was a lot of things. I'm super passionate guy, so knowing how, and that was what I have tons and tons of respect for our coaches that have helped me. There's a bunch of them that I've turned to as a first year to be like, hey, am I doing something wrong? Am I doing this or something? Asking questions. I got really lucky with this staff and being able to go to them for anything that I felt that maybe I was unsure of or needed to work on. But yeah, this staff of coaches that Coach Cheesy, Coach Price has put together, we all are great at what we do, but what I like the most about it is that I can turn to any one of them and I ask them a question honestly about something that I can better myself as a coach. And I think that's what I love the most about this particular program, that I felt I was able to work through some of my struggles in the beginning of the year to get to where we are now. So I owe a lot of that to the coaching staff, family, friends. I've talked to a lot of family and friends about very transparent, honest about the struggles. And like I was saying, I mean, there are all kinds of struggles are going to present themselves in the season. You can say but I think what I found out is nothing really prepares you for it until you go through it and deal with it as a team, as a whole collective unit. And those are things. I mean, those are things that you're going to deal with. But yeah, struggles they're going to be there. But having people like we have here at this school, at this program, people that are there for you to lean on to any kind of questions that you have, they've always been there for me. So I'm very appreciative. It's a great question. I'd like to. I was definitely, when I started, I was definitely kind of going at it at I had in mind, okay, I stay for this long, be it 2 years or what have you, and we'll kind of see. Definitely was committed to this year, finding the balance and moderation with it for this year, and then kind of figuring out how I will go about it. I don't have any actual time frame as to when. It's and you ask any one of the coaches, it's a lot of commitment and time, but it's so worth it. The time that it does take, it's a lot of time, but for me it's so worth it, and I never question it. For me, it's just I got lucky with this coaching staff and with the people here. They definitely make you want to come back and do it for as long as you can. In the style and the way that I coach, that's another story. It's a lot on your body. I definitely have to rework it and find a different way, but I only really want to do it this way. But yeah, I think the answer to your question is it's not really, there was never really like a specific time frame. I think what's super neat about this, and what I've noticed too, is with parents and friends, with the way that I've coached and how, I'm sure the word gets out with the kids and stuff, as I've had, a few of my athletes' parents come up who have a son that's a year younger or 2 years younger. The coolest thing has been after games, parent will take me off to the side, say, hey, you're going to stay for his brother, right? I say, oh yeah. And you'll get a lot of that, which I love, which shows you that you're doing something right. There's been a lot of moments like that throughout the season that have given you your flowers. You're showing that kind of sense and of appreciation. Like to me, that's I think what matters is the fact that they trust that we're doing it the right way, enough so that they trust us in giving them all your kids to come. What they're learning are some of the best values, accountability, responsibility, that sense of working really hard for something and achieving something, and doing it with a sense of pride. And I think, I foresee myself wanting to do this for a long period of time to instill these kind of values, my style, my kind of values into the youth for sure. Love being here, love the coaches, and I know I'm loved and appreciated as well. So, who doesn't want to do that for as long as they can? The only thing I think is holding me back is the style in which I coach, but I'm going to do it for as long as I can. So yeah, answer to your question, yes, I intend to try to do this for as long as I can. Yeah, there's a couple of cool memories that I have from this year, and some of them are football related, some of them are just having to do with particular athletes from this year. I talk about values and instilling those kind of values in the youth. There's this cool story that I have from this year. We have an athlete at the varsity level. There was we do a Little Pointer youth group, or youth football camp that they do here. It's a great event. It's kids in ages, I believe, of 6 to 13. They come out, and then our varsity athletes, they run the drills with the kids, and it's a lot of fun. And this year, we had a particular athlete that got noticed from a buddy of mine's son who went through that camp, and he had a good time, and he was working with this athlete, and I ended up talking to him the weekend after that camp. I asked him, hey, you go to the games with your dad? His sister cheers on the varsity, and he goes, yeah. So who's your favorite player? Right away, without a beat, doesn't skip it. And, Romeo Carter. All right, he's mine too. And I ask him what he likes about him, and all the things that I love about him too. Beyond him being a good football player, Romeo's an unbelievable human being. Very smart, very articulate, bilingual. Just a great kid. So, upon hearing this, I come to school next practice, and I tell him, I talk to him, I said, hey, you have a lot of people, a lot of kids that look up to you, bud. And, I felt like he needed to know this. He needed to know that this conversation was had. And I said, without a beat, he didn't skip a beat. He's my favorite player. And, he was, of course, like any kid Romeo's age, a bit shocked, which, didn't surprise me if you know who he is. He's very humble. And I said, just know that you have a lot of people looking, and, they look up to you. And, he definitely knows that. So fast forward to the game, I bring kid I was talking about previous, him and his buddies, they come to the game, and I bring him on the field to watch warm-ups. Him and 3 of his buddies, they come and watch the warm-ups, and they're watching our varsity kids do their thing. And I see Romeo Carter, and I ask him, hey, Romeo, over here for a second. And I ask him to say, hey, these are the 3 kids that were at the youth program, the Little Pointers camp. So, oh yeah. So he goes over there and says hi to the kids, tells them, hey, he appreciates them coming out to the game to have fun. And I look at these kids' faces, and they're just in awe at the type of person that somebody like him is. And I see it. These were qualities and things that we instilled in him, and he did his work. And to see it like that, and to see, one, I vocally told him about this. I vocally told Romeo that this is what is, but then to visually give him a visual representation like that of 3 little kids, just out of what we spoke about the day before, it makes it like that much more real. And I think me as a coach is what I do best, is being able to vocally tell them something, but then giving them a visual representation as well. And that's not just on the football field, but that's just in life in general. I'm going to tell you about it, but hey, I can also show you as well. And I think it gets processed differently, and it becomes very much more real. Another story of this year, which I thought was just so awesome, was yesterday. We had the women's field hockey coach. Shout out to Coach Mo, come out and help us coach the varsity game last night, which was just so awesome. She's great. She's a legend. She had the comm set, the headset on, and she was, came up to me and said, "I watched film, Coach. Like, I know their tendencies." "You're great. This is awesome." I was like her #1 hype guy last night. And to see that, and all the coaches kind of support each other and be there for each other. I know Coach Price, he mentioned to me he had helped coach her field hockey game the week prior. So it was really something that I really, really enjoy seeing, is everybody in this together as coaches, supporting each other. I support her, I support her team, her girls, and to see that, to me, was one of those big, first year memories that I'll enjoy. With just the interaction, the ability to have an impact on students' lives in a positive way like this. I think it's important. It's important to see it that, that is very much football, but it's also, these are life lessons that we're teaching them, and I think it's important for more kids to come out and experience it. I think for me and my coaching style, it's what I've wanted it to be, fun. It's supposed to be fun for the kids. It's supposed to be an exciting, time, especially first year. First years, it's it's supposed to be some of the most fondest memories coming through the program are generally first year. The other years, yes, of course, there's, but I think it's it comes down to that.